When Rich Tobe looks at this hat, he thinks of his adventure on the Arctic Ocean. This gear is very special to Rich Tobe.
I took 2 knives with me on the trip. This one's a utility knife that I keep in my pocket. We use it for all kinds of things, cutting rope, but it also had it's a little bit like a Swiss Army knife, not as elaborate. We'd open cans with it, because a lot of the food came in cans.
This gear is the exact same gear that he used in his Arctic journey. Rich and his friends were ready for a 16-day trip that they would never forget.
Well, my friend Bill Hoyt asked me to go. It's the 5th time I've been to the Canadian Arctic, and I love doing it.
Rich loves nature. He just loves being in the tundra. On his trip, he found some mountain sheep and much more.
I've seen the barren lands or the tundra just covered with moss, sometimes in bloom. Beautiful flowers everywhere.
But Rich told me that getting there by canoe can sometimes be difficult.
Sometimes. The rapids are very scary, but if you get ready for them, what we do is a great deal of studying. We'll spend hours sometimes scouting the rapids, figuring out exactly where to go. And if everything goes well, it's just fun. But if it doesn't go well, it can get very, very scary.
Over by the rock.
But other times, it was peaceful. These people are native to the land. They invited the canoers in for tea. John Charlie used to live in the city, but he thought it was too crowded and went back to nature.
He's very hospitable.
Oh, yeah?
Okay. I bet you never thought you'd be invaded by 8 people.
We stay right here, you know, and we call people in. Not if people want to pass, but we said, come in, welcome.
We liked him a lot. He lived on the Arctic. He lived in the river. Just before we got there, this wasn't in the movie, a bear had come into his camp. And the Indians eat the bear. So he got his rifle and shot it, killed it. Then smoked it. They stayed up 2 days and a night and smoked the bear. And then he loaded up his canoe and took it down to Fort McPherson, where we ended our trip, and gave the meat away, because he didn't like bear meat, he said. But they live off the land. They live off the fish and the animals. And he was very natural for him to do that, which, on the other hand, we would never have done. We weren't there to hunt or fish. I mean, we fished, but not to hunt.
When they were done rowing for the day, they were starving, and they ate lots of food.
It was 40 degrees most days, and raining. And what you find is the only way to stay warm is to eat a lot. We would eat almost 6,000 calories a day. It's a phenomenal amount of food. And we'd be sleeping outside and be outside all day. But it was cold and rainy virtually every day.
How'd you feel when it ended?
I'm funny about that. I'm sad when it ends because I like doing it so much. But it's also nice because we're tired and look forward to getting home, and the weather's changing. We're almost out of food. We were a day late on that trip. We were supposed to have ended a day earlier.
16 days, but not 17?
Yeah, so that's a little unsettling. He's supposed to get done on the right day. But it's great to come home. It really is nice to come home. But it's also, I love canoeing. I love being away in the wilderness. And so it's bittersweet. You're happy to be there, but happy to come home also.
Well, here we are on our 17th day of a 16-day trip.
It seems like only 6 months ago.
I know. Having paddled, I figure, about 280 miles, with a lot of mileage due tomorrow, cross the Arctic Circle, come from the Yukon into the Northwest Territories, seen wolfies and grizzly bear and caribou and Dall sheep and moose, Had a grand time. Explored a very hawks, yeah, eagles. Explored a river that's seldom paddled, and I think had an excellent trip.
Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray!
When Rich told me his story, I thought what it would be like for me to go on one of these adventures.
One of these days, maybe you'll get to go on a canoe trip and wear a hat like this and look just as good as I did.